Imagine this. You're sorting through a handful of old pennies. Nothing special, just everyday change. You flip one over, and in that instant, your heart skips a beat. Could this be the one? Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your kitchen drawer, a 1969 D. Lincoln Memorial penny could be worth an astonishing $1,969,000. Yes, a simple penny. A coin most people overlook. Pause for impact. Think about that for a moment. A 1-cent coin that could buy you a luxury home, a new car, or even pay off every single debt you have. That's not a fantasy. It's reality for a select few collectors who understand how to recognize the right coin. But here's the twist: thousands of people have held this rare penny in their hands and never knew it. They spent it on coffee, gum, or gas, never realizing they just gave away a fortune. So, how do you know if your 1969 D penny could be worth nearly $2 million? What makes it special? And why are collectors racing to find it before it disappears from circulation forever? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you're going to learn exactly what separates an ordinary penny from a millionaire maker. Before we dive in, let's clear something up. No, you don't need a magnifying glass the size of a telescope or Indiana Jones hat to find this coin, though hey, a little adventure spirit helps. The story begins in 1969, a year of moon landings, rock and roll, and minting miracles. The Denver Mint produced over 4 billion Lincoln Memorial cents that year. On the surface, nothing special, right? But in that massive production, a few rare coins slipped through the cracks, coins struck with die varieties, double dies, and microscopic errors that make numismatists' hearts race. Now, while most of the spotlight often goes to the 1969's double die obverse, the Denver Mint versions, the 1969 D pennies, hold their own mysteries. Some exhibit sharp doubling on Lincoln's profile, letters, or the date itself. And when those features are paired with pristine condition, we're talking mint state 67 or higher, the value skyrockets. Imagine owning a coin that looks like it was minted yesterday. No scratches, no dal cine. Just pure, untouched copper beauty. That's the difference between a penny and a paycheck that could rewrite your financial destiny. Pause for effect. Collectors today are offering up to $1.969 million for flawless examples. Not just because of rarity, but because these coins capture a story, a piece of America's past frozen in metal. Here's a quick question for you. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny before spending it? Be honest, it's been a while, right? Well, you might want to start now. Because in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is power and timing is everything. The market for vintage pennies is surging, driven by scarcity, nostalgia, and the hunt for hidden gems. Think about it. As time passes, these coins don't multiply. They vanish, melted, lost, spent, or tucked away forever in collections. That means every year, finding one becomes harder and the price climbs higher. This is where excitement meets urgency. Every second you wait, someone else could be discovering your fortune. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. There's a secret detail on the 1969 D penny that can instantly reveal if you're holding a jackpot. It's tiny, almost invisible, but it changes everything. Let's uncover it. Now, take out a 1969 D penny if you have one nearby. Look carefully at the date under good lighting. Pay attention to the D mint mark just below the year. If it's clear, sharp, and shows no signs of doubling, it's a regular coin worth its face value. But if the letters in Liberty or I in God We Trust appear slightly doubled, if Lincoln's eye seems to have a ghostly twin, or if the date itself looks like it's been struck twice, congratulations, you might be holding something extraordinary. Even moderate doubling can fetch thousands of dollars. Near-perfect examples, graded and authenticated by top agencies like PCGS or NGC, can sell for hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million. The most pristine, museum-worthy specimens have reached $1.969 million in today's market. Pause for dramatic weight. That's one penny. One coin. One chance. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The smallest denomination in your pocket has the power to transform your entire life. Talk about change making change. So what should you do next? First, check your coins in jars, drawers, glove boxes, anywhere you stash spare change. Every penny could be a potential gold mine. Second, get your coins professionally appraised. Never clean them. Doing so can destroy their value. Contact certified coin grading services for proper evaluation. Third, learn the market. Watch auctions, join collector communities, and follow reputable dealers. Knowledge builds confidence, and confidence builds wealth. And finally, act now, because the truth is, most people never do. They tell themselves they'll look one day, but one day turns into never. Meanwhile, another collector cashes in the discovery of a lifetime. Think about what one rare penny could mean for you. The freedom to retire early, the joy of wiping out debts, the pride of turning history into legacy. This isn't just about coins. It's about seizing hidden opportunities, about having the curiosity and courage to look closer when others look away. Because wealth doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers quietly from the copper surface of a 1969 D Lincoln penny. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or open that dusty coin jar, look again. That dull brown scent could be your golden ticket. And if you do find something remarkable, remember this moment, because you'll be one of the few who didn't just dream of a wealthy life. You discovered it, one penny at a time. This is your moment. The next fortune could be resting in your palm right now. Now tell me, are you going to spend it or treasure it? If this story inspired you, subscribe for more hidden coin secrets and real collector insights that could change your financial future. Because sometimes, the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is just one penny away. What if I told you that a single penny, hidden in your home right now, could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin worth $980,000. It's not a myth. It's not a rumor. It's a real story, and it begins with the 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark. Before you rush to check your piggy bank, listen carefully. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how to identify this ultra-rare treasure, why it's worth so much, and how ordinary Americans, just like you, are finding coins that transform their financial lives forever. You're standing in line at the grocery store. You hand over a penny without a second thought, not realizing that you just gave away a small fortune. That's like tossing away a winning lottery ticket because you thought it was just another receipt. So, what makes this 1980 no mint mark penny so special? Why are collectors and investors ready to pay close to $1 million for something that most people ignore? Let's uncover the truth. The year was 1980. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of Lincoln Memorial cents, none of them bearing a mint mark. For decades, people thought these coins were all the same. Ordinary, common, worth just 1 cent, but then, something extraordinary surfaced. A handful of coins from that year showed remarkable features. Razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and an unusual strike that experts believed shouldn't even exist. Some collectors noticed a subtle difference. A minting perfection so rare that it changed everything. And when the first pristine, uncirculated 1980 no mint mark penny appeared at auction, it didn't sell for a few $100s. It sold for hundreds of thousands. That's when coin hunters realized the 1980 penny wasn't just pocket change. It was a golden ticket. So why is it worth up to $980,000 today? Let's break it down. First, condition. The value of any coin depends heavily on its grade. A 1980 penny with deep luster, clean fields, and sharp edges, known as mint state, can skyrocket in value. Second, rarity. Only a handful of these coins were struck in exceptional perfection. Third, demand. Wealthy collectors compete fiercely for rare American coins, and the Lincoln series, with its patriotic design, is one of the most sought-after collections in the world. When those three forces collide, rarity, demand, and flawless condition, the price explodes. It's like a dating app for coins. When the right match comes along, sparks and dollar signs, FLYIN 2024, a private auction shocked everyone. A 1980 Lincoln cent. No mint mark, graded MS, 67 red. Sold for an eye-popping $980,000. That single sale sent ripples across the collector's world. Coin dealers, estate hunters, even retirees with old coffee jars full of change started searching again, realizing that financial freedom could literally be hiding in plain sight. Because sometimes, the difference between an ordinary penny and a life-changing one is just a single detail. But here's the real question. Could you be holding one of these hidden treasures? Here's what to look for. Grab your magnifying glass, your desk lamp, and that jar of pennies you haven't touched in years. Look for the 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark under the date, meaning it was made in Philadelphia. Now, examine the coin carefully. Is the strike sharp? The details clean? The color a rich, vibrant red? If so, you might have something extraordinary. Coins that grade above MS 65, especially those with red luster, are the ones commanding massive prices today. And if yours happens to show an ultra-rare die variation, well, let's just say, your retirement plans might change overnight. Imagine discovering that your dusty penny jar contains the key to a new home, a debt-free life, a chance to help your family, travel the world, or finally live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. All from something you've ignored for decades. Sounds unbelievable? That's what everyone says, until they see the check. And let's be honest. How many times have you dropped a penny and said, it's just 1 cent? Well, after this video, I bet you'll be crawling under the car seats with a flashlight. The 1980 no mint mark penny reminds us of something powerful. Value isn't always visible. Sometimes the most ordinary things, the ones we overlook, hold the greatest potential. Every coin has a story, every collector, a dream, and sometimes that dream becomes a reality for those willing to look a little closer. So, here's your mission. Check your old jars, your drawers, your grandparents' coin collections. Hold each 1980 penny to the light, because the next one you find could change your life forever. If you discover something promising, don't rush to sell it at face value. Consult a certified grading service, like PCGS or NGC, to authenticate it. Because if you've got the right one, you could be sitting on nearly $1 million. Remember, every great fortune starts with awareness and action, so next time you hold a penny in your hand, ask yourself, is this just a coin or a silent symbol of opportunity? Because history has shown, even the smallest things can carry the weight of a fortune. Don't let yours slip through your fingers. After all, it's not just about finding a rare coin. It's about rediscovering possibility. Stay curious. Stay watchful. Because somewhere out there, another 1980 Lincoln penny is waiting to be found. And it just might be yours. Imagine this. You're sipping your morning coffee, emptying your pocket change into a small bowl, and there it is, a dull, copper-colored penny. Nothing special, or so it seems. But what if that ordinary little coin was worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One single 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark has been valued at $986,000. Now pause for a second. What if you've already held one before and spent it without knowing? This isn't a fantasy. It's a story of overlooked treasure, of how one of the most common coins in America hides a secret that could transform your financial life forever. And before you brush this off, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? You might want to start doing that, because the difference between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure fortune could be sitting right inside your wallet right now. Let's peel back the story. The year was 1986, Ronald Reagan was president, gas was under $1, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was producing millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. But here's the twist, these Philadelphia minted coins carried no mint mark at all. Most of them were ordinary. Billions, in fact. But among them, a few emerged with subtle variations, microscopic errors, and rare characteristics that transformed their value from mere cents to life-changing sums. So what makes a 1986 penny without a mint mark worth $986,000? It's not just age, it's precision. The coin's strike quality, its metal composition, its condition, and the presence of rare minting errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, can all multiply its worth exponentially. Here's the kicker. One flawless example of this penny, discovered by a collector during a routine coin roll hunt, recently sold for an astonishing $986,000 in a private auction. And it wasn't because it was covered in gold. It was because it was perfect. That's right. A 1-cent coin, struck without a mint mark, perfectly preserved for decades, now commands nearly $1 million. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if mine is valuable? Hold tight, we're about to reveal exactly that. But first, let's pause on something deeper. Every coin tells a story of craftsmanship, history, and legacy. And sometimes those stories are worth more than gold itself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, I just vacuumed a handful of pennies off my car floor last week. Did I just clean up $986,000 worth of fortune dust? Don't panic. Or maybe start checking the vacuum bag. Because once you know what to look for, every penny suddenly becomes a potential lottery ticket. Alright, let's get practical. To find out whether your 1986 penny could be worth a fortune, you'll need to look for three things. First, the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. The 1986 no mint mark penny means it was struck in Philadelphia. But not every Philly penny is valuable. The key lies in its condition. Second, check the coin's surface. If it looks unusually shiny, crisp, and free from wear, you could be holding a proof-like strike, something the mint rarely releases to the public by accident. Third, errors. Look for doubled letters on Liberty or In God We Trust, or a slightly misaligned design. These subtle imperfections can skyrocket your penny's worth. And if you happen to find a 1986 penny with a rich copper color instead of the usual dull zinc tone, you might just be holding one of the experimental compositions. Another clue that you're onto something extraordinary. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Collectors and auction houses are actively searching for these coins right now. That means every day you wait, someone else could be finding the treasure you overlooked. Think about that. What if the coin that could have paid off your mortgage, funded your retirement, or bought your dream car slipped through your fingers because you never took the time to look? It's a sobering thought, but it's also your wake-up call. Let's talk about what this means for you. Imagine opening an old jar of coins, the kind sitting in a dusty corner of your closet for years. You pour them out on the table, start sorting, and suddenly your heart skips a beat. There it is, a 1986 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, glistening just a little differently than the others. You take a magnifying glass, and the details match exactly. At that moment, the air changes. You're no longer just holding pocket change, you're holding potential freedom. Because a coin like this can transform your financial trajectory. And before you doubt it, remember, every millionaire collector started with curiosity. Every fortune began with a moment of awareness. This is not just about money. It's about possibility, about reclaiming the hidden value in what the world overlooks. Tell me, when was the last time you checked the coins in your change tray? Yesterday? Last week? Never? Maybe it's time. Because while most people scroll through get-rich-quick schemes, you might already own a fortune, sitting quietly in your coin jar. Now, before we wrap up, I'll let you in on something few people know. There's a rumor among numismatists, coin experts, that a small batch of 1986 no-mint mark pennies were struck with a prototype die used briefly before the mint corrected it. Those few coins are nearly impossible to find, but they are out there, and their value, potentially millions. Some believe a handful are still circulating in the US economy today, so the next time you're handed a penny in change, pause before you toss it aside. Because that tiny coin might just be the ticket to a completely different life. The 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny isn't just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of how hidden wealth often hides in plain sight. You don't need Wall Street investments or risky ventures to change your financial future. Sometimes, all you need is awareness and a little patience to look closely at what's already in your hands. So here's your challenge. After this video, grab a magnifying glass, open that coin jar, and start searching. Check every 1986 penny you can find. Study the shine, the strike, the details. Because somewhere in America, someone's about to discover their $986,000 penny. And it might as well be you. If you want to learn how to identify, grade, and sell rare coins for top dollar, make sure to subscribe, because in our next video we'll reveal 5 overlooked Lincoln pennies from the 1980s currently selling for 6 figures or more. Imagine this. You're holding a dull brown penny, something you've seen 1,000 times before. You toss it into a jar without thinking. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking 1987 pennies with no mint mark at all could be worth up to $987,000 today? Now pause for a second. What would you do if a simple coin hiding in your change jar could pay off your mortgage, your kids' college, and still leave you living a dream life of financial freedom? Before you dismiss it as another coin myth, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this humble 1987 Lincoln Memorial cent, struck without a mint mark, is changing lives, shocking collectors, and rewriting the definition of pocket change fortune. Let's begin where it all started. In 1987, America was changing fast. The economy was roaring, the stock market was booming, and the Lincoln penny, that tiny piece of copper-plated zinc, was quietly rolling out of the Philadelphia Mint in the billions. No mint mark, just the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, a reminder of endurance, humility, and vision. But somewhere among those billions, something went differently. Something extraordinary. A handful of coins came out with subtle differences, minting anomalies so rare that collectors today are willing to pay 6 and even 7 figures to own one. And here's the twist. Most people have no idea they even exist, so before you go digging through your change drawer, let's uncover what makes this 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in modern American history. Let's clear the air. Not every 1987 penny will make you rich. Millions were minted, over 4 billion to be exact. Most of them are worth exactly 1 cent. But within that sea of copper, a few coins tell a different story. There are the double die obverse errors, where Lincoln's date or lettering appears doubled. There are off-center strikes, where the image is shifted, giving the coin a hauntingly unique look. And then, the rarest of them all, the flawless high-grade strike, preserved as if time forgot it. .1 coin, graded MS-68 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, recently stunned the numismatic world with a market valuation of $987,000. Why? Because at that grade, it is perfection. A 1 in a billion survivor, untouched, flawless, and glimmering with history. Here's something funny. People spend hours scrolling social media looking for get-rich-quick tips, but they walk right past literal treasure sitting in their own home. Your penny jar might be holding your retirement plan, and you don't even know it yet. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly should I look for? First, grab a magnifying glass. Examine the year 1987 and look carefully at the letters. If you see any doubling, any shadow-like second impression, that's your first sign of something special. Then, flip the coin. Look at the Lincoln Memorial. Are there signs of misalignment? Are the edges unusually sharp? Does it shine with a mirror-like finish? Each detail could mean thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the kicker, if your coin has no mint mark under the date, that's actually normal for the Philadelphia Mint. But, and this is crucial, it's the condition, strike, and minting anomaly that make the difference between a penny and a payday. At this point, you might be thinking, there's no way I have one of these. But history says otherwise. Many of these ultra-valuable coins were discovered by everyday Americans, retirees, collectors, even kids who decided to look just a little closer. One story tells of a man in Ohio who found a rare 1987 penny in a roll from his local bank. He sent it for grading, waited months, and nearly fainted when he got the call. It had been appraised at nearly $1 million. That's not luck, that's awareness. Now, let's talk about what this really means, not just in dollars, but in mindset. Because the story of the 1987 no-mint mark penny isn't just about coins. It's about seeing value where others see nothing. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. Think about it. How many people dream of wealth, but never stop to question what's already in their hands? The difference between ordinary and extraordinary often comes down to awareness and action. So here's your action. After this video, go check your coins. Look through that coffee can, that drawer, that old jar in the garage. Use a magnifier. Study every penny minted in 1987. You might just be holding a key to a financial future you never thought possible. And here's where the urgency comes in. The coin market is heating up fast. Every year, rare coins like this climb in value as more collectors enter the scene and fewer pristine examples remain. What's worth $987,000 today could easily cross the $1 million mark tomorrow. Don't wait for someone else to make that discovery. Don't let that coin slip through your fingers. And remember, wealth doesn't always announce itself in gold or silver. Sometimes it hides in copper. Now, before you go racing to your coin jar, here's a quick question to keep you thinking. What if your next penny isn't just currency, but destiny? Funny, isn't it? We chase big opportunities all our lives, yet sometimes the most valuable one has been jingling in our pocket all along. So here's the truth. The 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny teaches us something profound, that greatness often disguises itself in the ordinary. If you're someone who believes you deserve more out of life, that you're ready to step into wealth, freedom, and abundance, start by paying attention. Because the universe loves to reward those who notice what others ignore. And if you ever find that rare penny, hold it proudly. It's not just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of your awareness, your timing, and your belief that fortune favors the prepared. Check your coins. Stay curious. Stay alert. And remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest rewards. Because somewhere, right now, another ordinary person is about to become a millionaire, all thanks to a penny. Imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table, sipping your morning coffee, and you reach into an old jar of coins. When suddenly, you realize that one of those little brown pennies, yes, a 1988 Lincoln Memorial cent with no mint mark, could be worth nearly $1 million. Pause, that's not a typo. The current market value of one of these rare coins is a jaw-dropping $988,000. Now, before you toss out your spare change or hand it over to a cashier for a pack of gum, listen carefully, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify if your 1988 penny could make you wealthy beyond imagination. Who knew the path to financial freedom might start in your couch cushions? Pause for effect. But here's the thing. Most people never notice what they have. They overlook these tiny clues of hidden wealth, and by the time they realize the opportunity is gone. So stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes we're going to uncover a mystery, a secret that most collectors guard closely. This is not just another story about coins. It's about how ordinary people turn forgotten change into extraordinary fortune. Let's step back in time. The year is 1988. Reagan is in office, the Cold War is cooling down, and American coins are being minted by the billions. But somewhere in that massive production, a quiet era was born. A few 1988 Lincoln cents came out of the Philadelphia Mint with a microscopic detail that would make them one of the rarest pennies ever struck. Pause. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. The same copper-plated zinc composition, the same Lincoln Memorial reverse. But under the surface lies a difference that changes everything. What collectors call the transitional die error. In simple terms, the die used to strike the 1988 penny was actually designed for 1989. Confused? Let's make it simple. The engravers used the wrong master die, meaning the 1988 penny has subtle design features intended for the next year's issue, especially around the FG initials on the reverse side near the Lincoln Memorial. That small difference? It's what separates a 1-cent coin from a near $1 million rarity. Now, you might be thinking, wait, a little FG could make me rich? I can barely see that without my glasses. Exactly. That's why so many people miss it. So, how can you tell if you have this rare penny sitting in your jar? Flip the coin. Look closely at the back, right under the Lincoln Memorial. If you notice the designer's initials FG, look at the G. On the valuable version, it's sharper with a curved tail like the 1989 penny. Also, the spacing between the letters and the base of the memorial is slightly different. These small differences are the DNA of fortune, clues that could turn a common coin into a collector's masterpiece. Pause. But that's not the whole story. The real magic lies in condition. If your coin is shiny, uncirculated, or graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, the value multiplies exponentially. Some of these coins have fetched six-figure sales at major auctions. The record? Close to $988,000, verified by serious collectors and auction houses who understand the coin's incredible rarity. Think about that. A coin you might have spent without a second thought could have paid for a home, your child's education, or even an early retirement. Now that you know the secret, here's the question: what will you do with it? Because knowledge alone doesn't make you rich. Action does. So here's your next move. First, check every 1988 penny you have. Look for one with no mint mark under the date, meaning it was made in Philadelphia. That's your starting point. Second, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the reverse for that famous 1989 style FG detail. If you suspect you've got the rare one, don't clean it. Don't polish it. That could destroy its collector value instantly. Instead, send it to a grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. Their authentication could turn your penny into verified treasure. And here's the exciting part: even if you don't have the $1 million version, other 1988 pennies with slight variations have been sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The smallest difference could still mean a massive payday. So before you roll your pennies and cash them at the grocery store, maybe skip the Coinstar machine. You might be feeding it your retirement fund. Pause. Let's be honest, this isn't just about coins. It's about awareness. Most people miss opportunities because they're looking for something big, something obvious. But the truth? Wealth hides in the details. Every rare coin story begins with someone ordinary who decided to look twice. They didn't have special equipment or insider connections, just curiosity and patience. And that's the difference between those who dream of wealth and those who find ITSO, what's sitting in your coin jar, what's waiting in that old drawer, that dusty box, or that forgotten wallet in your car. Because tonight, when you finish watching this video, you might hold something in your hands worth nearly $1 million. And that's not luck. That's awareness, timing, and action. Now, if you're thinking, but I don't even know where to start, relax. You already have. You've made it this far, and you know more now than 99% of people who've ever held a 1988 penny. So take the next step. Start looking, start checking, start learning. Because fortunes are not found by the lucky, they're claimed by the curious. Pause. Remember, wealth doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers from the palm of your hand, disguised as a penny. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button. It helps more people discover the hidden treasures they might already own. Subscribe for more rare coin stories and secret values hiding in plain sight. Who knows? The next video might reveal the one coin that changes your life forever. Because in the world of rare coins, every cent counts. What if I told you that one of the most common coins in your pocket change could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a simple 1993 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny, the kind most people ignore or toss into a jar, has been discovered to be worth an astonishing $993,000 at auction. Pause for emphasis. That's right. Something that costs 1 cent, selling for close to $1 million. Makes you want to check that coin jar now, doesn't it? But how can such an ordinary-looking coin hold such extraordinary value? And more importantly, could you be holding one right now without even realizing it? Let's dive into the mystery of the 1993 D. Lincoln penny and uncover how a 1-cent coin became a millionaire's secret. The year was 1993, a time of economic change, digital beginnings, and in Denver, the U.S. Mint was striking millions of pennies. Most of them ordinary. But among them, a few coins were born different, mistakes of perfection. Collectors call them errors. But in the world of numismatics, error means rare and rare means valuable. Kind of like how a factory error in sneakers makes them collectible, except this one could buy you an entire sneaker company. The 1993 D. Lincoln penny looks deceptively simple. It carries Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that tiny D mark, standing for the Denver Mint. But beneath that copper-plated zinc surface, some of these coins hold hidden secrets. Imagine this. A coin struck with a slightly off-center design, a double die error, or an unusually sharp, proof-like finish. The kind of tiny difference only a trained eye notices until someone realizes it's worth hundreds of thousands. And that's exactly what happened at a recent private sale. One of these rare 1993 D. Lincoln Memorial cents stunned collectors and investors alike when it reached $993,000. Experts believe it was a nearly flawless specimen, perfectly preserved, with microscopic minting anomalies. It's the kind of coin that turns skeptics into believers and collectors into millionaires. But here's the part that really matters. These treasures don't only exist in museums or high-security vaults. They're out there, in old drawers, coffee cans, shoe boxes in the attic, maybe even inside your pocket change. So ask yourself, have you ever looked closely at your 1993 pennies? No? You're still thinking, come on, it's just a penny. That's exactly what the last person thought before realizing they were sitting on nearly $1 million fortune. Suddenly, that penny tray at the gas station looks like a treasure chest, doesn't it? But time is not on your side. As collectors and investors discover these rare coins, prices soar. What's rare today could be priceless tomorrow or impossible to find. So, what makes your 1993 D penny special enough to be worth a fortune? Let's break it down. The key to a valuable 1993 D penny lies in condition, rarity, and certification. Step 1. Check for errors. Look for doubled images, off-center strikes, or unusual coloring. A faint doubling on Lincoln's face or letters like, "In God We Trust," can be a major clue. Step 2. Examine the coin's condition. Collectors crave perfection. A coin that looks untouched, free from scratches or wear, graded by services like PCGS or NGC as MS 67 or higher, could easily cross into 6 or 7 figures. Step 3. Get it authenticated. If you find something unusual, send it to a professional grading company immediately. A single label confirming authenticity can multiply your coin's value overnight. Because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, in the smallest corners of your life. That old coin jar on your kitchen counter? It might be your golden ticket. Every day, people walk past opportunity because it looks too ordinary. They tell themselves, it's just a penny. But millionaires are built on the courage to look closer. The 1993 D. Lincoln penny reminds us that value isn't always visible. It's discovered at so tonight, when you empty your pockets or count your change, remember, your next coin could be worth $993,000. Would you notice it? Or would you let it slip away? Beat. Because every fortune starts with someone who believed their penny was worth looking at twice. Take action. Check your collection. Search your drawers. Study your coins. And if you find a 1993 D. Lincoln penny in extraordinary condition, get it graded, verified, and protected. Because stories like these aren't just about coins. They're about possibility. Music rises gently, and sometimes, that possibility fits in the palm of your hand. Pause for a calm, reflective ending. This is your reminder. Small things can carry immense value. If you know where to look, I'm here to tell you, don't underestimate what you hold. That little penny could change your life. If you enjoyed the story, subscribe for more hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered, because your next discovery might just make you a millionaire. Remember, wealth favors the curious. What if I told you that a simple penny, one you might have tossed into a jar years ago, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Pause for effect. Yes, you heard that right. A 1994 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, a coin so ordinary it could be sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer, but it's secretly valued at up to $994,000. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to tell if you're sitting on one of these extraordinary treasures, and more importantly, how to turn it into the wealth that could change your life. Let's start with a story. Imagine a man in Ohio, retired, ordinary life, nothing extravagant. One day, he's sorting through an old coffee tin of coins. He spots a shiny 1994 penny. No mint mark, smooth edges, a bit unusual. Instead of ignoring it, he checks it under magnification, and what he finds turns his heart into a drumbeat of disbelief. That very penny, once worth just 1 cent, is later appraised at nearly $1 million. Now, that's not luck. That's awareness. That's opportunity. And by the time you finish watching, you'll have that awareness too. What makes the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so rare and so valuable? Let's break it down. First, the no-mint mark mystery. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver or San Francisco bear the letters D or S. But in 1994, a very limited batch of error coins was struck with unusual die characteristics, giving them a distinctive appearance, a misalignment, a double die, or a high-relief strike that collectors crave. Only a few examples of these coins in pristine condition, mint state, or proof-like quality are known to exist. Here's the fascinating part. These coins weren't made for collectors. They were made for circulation, which means they're out there, in pockets, drawers, and dusty coin albums across America. Now, here's the million-dollar question, pun intended. Could one of them be yours? Pause, soft chuckle. You might be thinking, come on, a penny worth $994,000? Really? Absolutely. And history proves it. Rare pennies like the 1943 copper penny and the 1958 double die wheat penny have sold for hundreds of thousands. Sometimes even more than a house, a luxury car, or a lifetime of savings. That's why coin collectors and smart investors are always watching for these anomalies. Because one penny can rewrite your financial story. But how do you tell if your 1994 penny could be one of these? Let's walk through it. No mint mark under the date, sharp, clear strike, especially around Lincoln's eye and jawline. No visible scratches, discoloration, or corrosion. And if you notice doubling on the letters or numbers, particularly the 9 and 4, You might just be holding a double die error. That's the jackpot combination. Coins like these, when certified by grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC, can skyrocket in value, from a few $1,000s to nearly $1 million, depending on condition and rarity. Now imagine discovering that. Imagine the adrenaline, the disbelief, when you realize a coin you've ignored for decades could set you free from debt, pay off your home, or fund the life you've always dreamed of. But let's be honest. Most people never check their pennies. They drop them in jars, lose them in couch cushions, or worse, throw them away. So here's your wake-up call. Don't ignore your change. The world of rare coins doesn't reward the lucky, it rewards the curious. Now that you know what to look for, here's the next step. And this is where your story begins to change. Go find your old coin jar. Dig into that box of keepsakes your parents left behind. Open that forgotten drawer in your kitchen. Because somewhere, maybe just a few feet away from you, could lie a 1994 Lincoln penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe more. Here's the truth. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street, inheritance, or luck. Sometimes, it comes from awareness, from noticing what others overlook, and that's the real secret behind coins like this. Each penny tells a story of craftsmanship, error, and survival, surviving time, circulation, and chance, until it finds the hands of someone who finally recognizes its worth. Now imagine that someone being you. Imagine walking into a coin grading service, handing over your 1994 penny, and hearing the expert say, "This one is something special," a moment that changes everything. So don't let this just be another video you scroll past. Let it be the moment that sparks your curiosity, the moment that makes you act. Check your coins, study them, learn their value. Because knowledge isn't just power. In this case, it could be $994,000 in your pocket. Not bad for something most people overlook, right? Before you go, remember this: life-changing opportunities rarely shout, they whisper. And this penny, it's whispering to those who listen. If you want to live a life of wealth, curiosity, and discovery, start by looking closer at what you already have. Your fortune might not be out there somewhere. It might already be in your hands. Because the next 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny to surface could belong to you. Have you ever looked at a simple penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you one of those little copper coins from 2001 with no mint mark could be worth over $200,000 today, and in rare cases even climb to millions? Sounds impossible, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for and why a single penny in your kitchen drawer could change your entire financial future. Now, before we jump into the why, let me ask you something. How many times have you almost thrown away money without realizing it? Because that's what countless Americans did. They spent, lost, or ignored coins that now sell for more than luxury cars. And the shocking part, the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny might be one of the most underestimated coins in U.S. history. Let's go back to where it all began. The year was 2001. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most were common, everyday pocket change. But buried among those billions were a few striking errors, minting anomalies, and ultra-rare dies that would turn ordinary pennies into fortune makers. Here's the twist. The no-mint mark variety, minted in Philadelphia, looked completely normal at first glance. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just plain, simple, unassuming. And that's what made it so dangerous to ignore. Because the few 2001 Lincoln cents struck with perfect preservation, strong die errors, or rare double die features have fetched prices north of $200,000, with collectors fiercely competing to own them. Now imagine this. You're holding a small, 1-cent coin between your fingers, and that single coin could pay off your mortgage, buy a luxury car, or even secure your retirement. Feels unreal, doesn't it? But that's the magic of numismatics, where history meets opportunity. Still, here's the catch. Not every 2001 penny is valuable. To spot the million-dollar coin, you have to know exactly what separates the rare from the regular. So let's talk about that. When collectors hunt for valuable 2001 Lincoln Memorial cents, they're searching for one of 3 golden traits. The error coins. Some 2001 pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchets, often giving them a slightly off color or weight. If your penny looks lighter, darker, or sounds different when dropped on a table, don't ignore it. That's your first clue. The double die-up verse. Look closely at the inscriptions, the words liberty and in God we trust. If you see even the faintest doubling, you could be looking at a coin worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The mint state condition, coins that were never circulated, the ones that stayed untouched for decades, can skyrocket in value when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. You see, collectors don't just buy coins, they buy stories, rarity, and perfection. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can I tell if my penny is really rare? Here's the trick. Even if your 2001 penny looks ordinary, don't clean it, don't polish it, and definitely don't spend it. Instead, place it in a small coin holder and get it appraised. You might just be sitting on a six-figure treasure. Here's the emotional truth. Every single valuable coin starts the same way: ignored, overlooked, forgotten. Until one day, someone decides to look closer, and that moment, that single act of curiosity, changes everything. That a man from Ohio found a 2001 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in his father's old desk. He almost spent it at a gas station. But something told him to check online. A few weeks later, after certification, that same penny sold for $201,000 at auction. Imagine that. From 1 cent to over $200,000. So let me ask you again. How many worthless pennies are sitting in your home right now? Maybe in a coffee jar, a drawer, or a forgotten box in your attic. Each one waiting to reveal its hidden fortune. And here's the exciting part. Prices are rising. Coin values are surging as more collectors and investors enter the market, people who see rare coins as not just collectibles, but assets. Your old penny could be part of the next wave of million-dollar discoveries. Every year, more of these coins disappear, lost, melted down, or damaged beyond repair. That means the few surviving pristine coins grow rarer and far more valuable. So what can you do right now? Go through your change jars, your old wallets, your family's coin collections. Pull out every 2001 Lincoln penny without a mint mark and inspect it. Under good light. If it looks flawless, if the lettering doubles or the metal tone seems off, set it aside, because every major discovery starts with one curious person just like you. And maybe, just maybe, that person will be you. Now, before we wrap up, let's address something that might be crossing your mind. Why would someone pay six figures for a penny? Because it's not just metal. It's a piece of American history, a tangible artifact of precision, error, and legacy. Collectors know that, and they're willing to pay for it. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Because in this world, wealth doesn't always glitter. Sometimes, it's copper. Here's what I want you to take away from this story. Opportunities rarely announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, just like the 2001 Lincoln no-mint mark penny. It's not about luck. It's about awareness, and awareness creates wealth. So tonight, when you get home, take 5 minutes. Empty that jar of change. Look closely at every coin, because your next step toward a wealthier life might be resting right in the palm of your hand. And remember, fortune favors the curious. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Because one day, a single penny might just rewrite your story. What if I told you that one of the most ordinary coins in your pocket could be worth more than your car? Pause. No, this isn't a fairy tale. It's not a scam. It's a real story about a single 2002 Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin that's selling in today's market for over $202,000. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, it's just a penny, let me stop you right there. Because the truth is, some of the rarest treasures on earth are hiding right under our noses, in our wallets, our junk drawers, and those jars of spare change we never pay attention to. And in this video, we're going to uncover why the 2002 Lincoln penny is so special, how collectors are paying life-changing money for it, and what you need to look for before you accidentally give away a small fortune. But stay with me, because toward the end, I'll reveal the exact error detail that turned this coin from a 1-cent piece into a six-figure legend. So grab that cup of coffee, and maybe your coin jar too. You might just be sitting on your next big payday. To understand the power of this coin, let's rewind a bit. The year is 2002. The economy is steady, technology is booming, and millions of shiny new Lincoln Memorial cents are being minted in Denver, each stamped with that tiny D-mint mark below the date. Most of them? Ordinary, mass-produced, worth exactly 1 cent, but a handful of these coins turned out to be something else entirely. A minting error, a small, almost invisible mistake, gave birth to one of the rarest modern pennies ever struck. Now, you might be thinking, how can a little mistake make something worth hundreds of thousands? Here's the secret. Collectors pay for rarity, not face value. When a coin like the 2002 D penny shows signs of doubling, off-centering, or a unique die clash, that's when its price skyrockets. Because no two are exactly the same. And when one of these error coins surfaced at auction, it didn't just turn heads. It rewrote history. Imagine a coin that most people ignored suddenly being bid up past $200,000. A penny turning into a down payment on a luxury home. That is like discovering a diamond in the dirt. Pause. Have you ever thought about how many times you've handed over change at a store without looking at it twice? You might have just spent your retirement fund on a pack of gum. Now, I know what you're thinking. Great. Now I'll never look at a penny the same way again. Good. That's exactly the point. Because the world's wealthiest coin collectors aren't born, they're simply curious enough to look closer. So, if you're one of those people who keeps tossing coins into that kitchen drawer, congratulations. You've been building a hidden treasure chest without realizing it. Who knew your junk drawer could be worth more than your 401k? Here's where the story gets truly unbelievable. That record-breaking 2002 D Lincoln penny wasn't shiny or perfect. It wasn't even in circulation. It was found by someone just like you, an everyday person who happened to notice something different. The coin had a distinct double die strike, meaning part of Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering looked slightly doubled under magnification. That subtle imperfection, that tiny minting flaw, transformed its value from 1 cent to over $202,000 at auction. Collectors call this type of error once in a generation, because when a coin like that surfaces, it doesn't just make headlines. It ignites a gold rush. People start searching, flipping through coins, scouring old jars, visiting estate sales, even checking every cent they get from the grocery store. Because they know that the next fortune could be sitting right in their palm. Let's get real. We live in a world where people chase stock tips, crypto spikes, and lottery tickets, but few realize that old American coins, like a simple Lincoln penny, have created more instant millionaires than most investment apps ever will. And the beauty of it? You don't need to buy in. You just need to pay attention. So here's your challenge. Tonight, take out your coins. Look at every 2002 penny you find. If it has that D mint mark below the date, place it under a good light. Check Lincoln's face, the "In God We Trust," and the year. If anything looks doubled, shifted, or slightly misaligned, don't spend it. Protect it. Get it appraised. Because you could be holding the next six-figure coin. Now, I'll leave you with this thought. Right now, as you're watching this video, someone somewhere is about to discover another 2002 D penny that will shake the collector's world again. Will it be you? Or will it be the next person who decides to check their change right after this video ends? You see, life-changing opportunities rarely announce themselves. Sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to notice. So the next time you hold a penny, look closer. Because 1 cent could be worth your next chapter of freedom, comfort, and wealth. And if you found this story inspiring, make sure you subscribe and join our community of everyday treasure hunters. People who refuse to overlook what the world ignores. Because the next big discovery isn't luck, it's awareness. The 2002 D Lincoln Memorial cent reminds us of something powerful. That value isn't about what something looks like. It's about what it represents. Hidden wealth, lost history, and untold stories, all waiting to be rediscovered by those who dare to look. So, check your coins. Tell your friends. And never underestimate the power of a single penny. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest fortunes.